Good morning, everyone. My name is Steve Howard. I'm a keeper in the bird department at the Houston Zoo. I've been here 37 years, actually, and been working in birds since '98. And we're in our Texas Wetlands exhibit. This is a brand new iteration of what was just our flamingo exhibit. It now has a cover on it, so we're able to have birds in here who can fly. We now have spoonbills, roseate spoonbills, scarlet ibis, white ibis, lapwings, waterfowl. So it's a real habitat now and not just an exhibit with one kind of animal. We have breeding going on in the exhibit now. Our white ibis have chicks. Over there at that nest, you can see one of the birds sitting right over the water, actually sitting on 2 chicks. So that's really been exciting for us. And we also have 3 grown-up chicks. If you see the blackbird here on the edge of the island, that's actually a white ibis juvenile that'll turn white over the next year. So, and sometimes we will toss mealworms. We have various kinds of live food that we feed the birds. So if I toss them on the island, we should draw some of the ibis down to eat the bugs. They see it when we throw it. You can see the lapwing running over. Here comes one of the spoonbills. That's a wood stork, the tall white bird that's eating the bugs. Wood storks, roseate spoonbills are actually, you can see those in Houston and in Texas. They also exist all the way down to Brazil. Our 2 wood storks were injured in the wild and could no longer fly, so they came to live at the zoo so they could have a life. They would not have survived in the wild. So they live here in our habitat. You can see the roseate spoonbills are the light pink ones with the dark red on their wings. Then on the right we have the scarlet ibis, which are really beautiful birds. And then all 3 of our white ibis juveniles, the gray birds, are on the island as well. We have 48 flamingos in our exhibit. These are Chilean flamingos. So they are from the country of Chile. They exist from lower in the mountains all the way up to about 15,000 feet. So they are very hardy birds. Even though they look like they might be delicate, they can take just about any kind of weather that we have here in Houston. We've had them out during our freezes, during our hurricanes, and they do just great. So they're very hardy birds. If you are here, when you come to the exhibit, if you go over near where that nest is, where the chicks are, and you can see them begging for food right now, they're so loud when they beg for food that you can hear them. Probably can't hear them on my mic, but you can hear them all the way across the exhibit when you're here, begging their parents for food. We have scarlet ibis that are sitting on a nest with some eggs. You can't really see it from here. It's a hidden nest that we're leaving alone because we really want scarlet ibis, and they seem to be pretty sensitive to any disturbance in their nest. So we're letting them have their space, as it were, so they can raise their family. That's the great thing about this exhibit. Since we've turned it into a wetlands habitat, we do have birds raising families, raising chicks. It's really a functioning habitat. There's waterfowl and ibis and spoonbills, different birds that you would see together in a wetland, both in North America and South America. You will see white ibis in Houston as well. And they exist also all the way down into South America, into Brazil. A lot of these animals have a very wide range. And even though you might see them here in Houston, there are times when in their native habitats elsewhere in the world, they're locally endangered. So even though it may be a bird that you see, there can still be conservation issues that we want to be part of helping in the Houston Zoo in other parts of their range. I'm going to get some duck food, and we'll see if some of our ducks will come over and eat. As most people know, flamingos get what they need to make their pink color out of what they eat. So we feed the flamingos something like this duck food that floats on the water, and they take it off the top of the water. But it's a darker color because it has all the protein they need to make their pink color. If you don't feed them the right food, their feathers will be white when they grow new feathers. Feathers are like hair. Once they've grown out, they don't change their color. But new feathers would be a different color if they didn't have the right food. This is a South American comb duck, the black and white speckled one that's come over to eat the duck food. We have a male and a female in here. We also have Brazilian teal, shovelers, white-faced whistling ducks, all together in this habitat. The spoonbills will eat the duck food sometimes. The scarlet ibis like eating the flamingo food. Scarlet ibis and roseate spoonbills will be pink. Even if they don't get the flamingo food, they're different from the flamingos. They're not dependent on their food for the color, but they do have better color if they eat the flamingo food. This time of day, sometimes the reason we won't see the ducks when we throw food is they're in the shade. It's very hot. And that's one of the nice things about having an exhibit like this. There's enough animals in here that you can see our animals when you come, and there's enough space so some of our animals can be in the shade and take care of themselves when it gets hot. Questions?
What's your favorite bird to work with, would you say?
You know, a favorite bird is a hard thing to say because we have so many different kinds of birds in the zoo, hundreds of species and individuals. But in this exhibit, we have two birds called boat-billed herons. They're not showing themselves at the moment, but they're really interesting looking birds. Their upper beak looks like an upside down canoe, so they're called boat-billed because it looks like a boat. They have a crest of feathers that they put up. When they get really excited and put their feathers up, they kind of look like Jar Jar Binks. So they're really fun birds, and I feel really lucky to work with them. We have a pair that have nested. They're very young, so they actually didn't have fertile eggs, but we're sure they will eventually. And I really like working in this exhibit, but also I feel lucky to have the variety of birds we have, and to have the boat bills is really fun. You can see on the island too, if you look by the rock right here, that little pile of dirt that has a scoop in the middle is actually a flamingo nest. So the flamingos have started building nests. Flamingos are finicky. They don't necessarily have babies every year, but we're very encouraged to see, this is just the past couple of days, we've noticed that there's some nest building going on. And they just make a nest out of mud and dirt. They lay their one egg in that. Flamingos lay one egg. It's extremely rare for them to lay two. Sometimes you'll have two females laying eggs in the same nest, and if you see two eggs, it's almost always because there's more than one female who put an egg there. So hopefully we'll be able to have flamingo babies. They hatch out bright white with big orange feet and turn gray over the weeks after that. And the parents get them in the water right away. So Plastic-Free July is coming up. Actually, today's July 2nd, so Plastic-Free July is now. What we like to concentrate during Plastic-Free July is try and raise your consciousness on not using single-use plastic. For instance, if you're using bottled water, you can get a water filter that you can use at home on a pitcher and not use the bottles. If you're using, even if you get a to-go container, you can keep that to-go container and reuse it instead of buying Tupperware. So the three words are reduce, reuse, and recycle. Use less, reuse what you use, and recycle what you don't. You can get a grocery bag that's made out of recycled plastic and then not use single-use plastic bags. So there's a number of ways that you can reduce the amount of plastic that you use. If you can reduce the amount of plastic that gets put into a landfill or gets thrown away, plastic grocery bags are a great place to start. They get left out sometimes, the wind picks them up, they wind up in the waterway, they break down. Microplastic gets into our food, gets into our bodies, gets into the environment. So not using single-use plastic bags, even that alone is a really great thing you can do for our local wildlife and our local habitats. So Plastic-Free July is a great way to raise consciousness. We hope that people will learn the practices and just get into the habit and keep it going all year. So yeah, this coming weekend is the 4th of July. It is a holiday, and we will be open regular hours, which is 9 in the morning till 5 at night. Also, we have a brand new exhibit in this or area of the zoo. This exhibit is part of it, which is Fondren Birds of the World, generously supported by the Fondren Foundation, which we greatly appreciate. That this zoo has a lot of support from our community, and it's really wonderful. It helps us a lot. But there's a North American birds exhibit where you can see songbirds. North American birds is a little bit like a birding experience. If you stand and watch for a while, you'll see a number of really cool local birds. We also have birds of Africa, where we have vultures and storks and crowned cranes. It's a really fun exhibit. And then South American wetlands, where we are now, is the third star. Here comes our Brazilian teal, ready to get some food. She figured out that we're feeding. Pretty little duck. So we're going to wrap up. Please come to the zoo and see Birds of the World. We're really proud of it. There are 3 really great exhibits. Come see South American wetlands and see our ibis chicks. And at 9:30 every day, there is a keeper chat in the bird department. There's a dry erase board in Flamingo Terrace where they sell food that'll tell you where it's going to be. So you'll get to talk to a keeper if you're here at 9:30. Thanks so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We appreciate everyone's support for the zoo.